Happy Monday. It's June 1st. It is the day after Radiant, our Radiant celebration last night, where we gathered in Atlanta to love the women of our city. And this was a beautiful idea that Jesus actually incubated and was instigated, and a little bit of ideation about 6 months ago, and around a collective of us who rallied around a dream and a vision to love the women of our city in Atlanta, to love individuals who've been sexually exploited. You know, we hear a lot from Passion, and we hear a lot from other organizations that talk about ending slavery, and obviously Senator Corker's End Slavery Act, that bill passed, obviously with a $1.5 billion of appropriated funds over the coming years. But at the end of the day, it's not just about awareness, it's about taking action. And I love how Passion this year has really invited us with Passion conferences to take action. So Radiant represents the first step of taking action. It was an opportunity where literally we had 96 beloved volunteers that gathered last night in Atlanta to honor, to serve, to love the women of Atlanta, to love the folks in our city who've been impacted in sexually exploited individuals who've been impacted by the sex industry. And to see how various organizations, we had multiple churches, we had 8 different nonprofit organizations, including another church, Oakdale Church of God. When you think of Beloved Atlanta, you think of Wellspring Living, Out of Darkness. You think about Passion City Outreach Team, Nightlight. You think about Clothe Your Neighbor as Yourself, which was the retail partner that made this shirt, Make Love a Verb. That was really the anchor behind what our heartbeat was for Radiant and loving the women of our city. You think about the gathering with Chef Alex in Lake Dawson and how they love and build a bridge of hope to people who formerly were in a state of homelessness and they're in a state of transition, giving them the beauty, the dignity, the value, and the worth that they deserve and loving them like Jesus. And then you think about a civic organization in our own backyard here in Atlanta, Pace Setters, women, professional women who caught a glimpse of this Radiant story in March when they had invited me to come speak to them at a women's luncheon. I literally was the only guy in the room, and I shared after the crash landing Delta Flight 1086 on March 5th in LaGuardia that almost went into Flushing Bay, and now they heard about Radiant and they rallied and they sent a large crew last night to love the women of our city. Amazing, amazing. And it makes me step back and say, what kind of story is your life telling? What kind of story is your life telling? And as you pause and you think about that, here's another question. We flip it upside down. What would it look like if you loved like Jesus? What would it look like if we love like Jesus? If we come to Jesus and say, Jesus, I'm all yours. I literally, with open hands, I give you my time, my talents, my treasures. I give you my resources, my relationships, my opportunities. And I want to love like you, Jesus. And when we see people who've been impacted, sexually exploited individuals that in our own backyard, and you say, Jesus, what would it look like if I love like you? Last night, Radiant is a use case. It is an example of how people come together from different churches, from civic organizations, 8 different nonprofits, and they rally around a vision and a heartbeat. And the heartbeat is to love women, to give them the beauty, the value, and the love that they deserve, that they have as a woman, because Jesus created them and Jesus loves them, just like he did on John 4, the woman at the well, just like he did in Luke 7 with Mary Magdalene in verses 36 through 50. So the question for you today, wherever you live in America, wherever you live in this globe is, hey, don't live that small circle story. You can live a bigger story. Your life can make a huge difference and a huge impact. So ask yourself the question, what kind of story is my life telling today? And what would it look like for me to love like Jesus in your own backyard, in your own community? How Jesus can take your love and build a bridge of hope, a bridge of life, and he can shine a light through your willingness to love the people in your own backyard who are broken and have needs and are desperate for hope. That's my challenge. That's our challenge to you as we reflect on the beauty of last night and Radiant and what Jesus did through Radiant. So thank you.